Yo, how you doing? So hello. Let some people get in here. I gotta get the calendar. Blackout, what's up? Yo, we got the 18th to the 22nd. Let me get a screenshot of it. What's up, Kit? Good afternoon. We barely got the 40 goal in the Discord. We just got it. Try to give you guys time. It's midnight where you're at. That's crazy. It is 1:36 where I am right now in the afternoon. I just posted on Twitter. East Coast. We got 40 likes on the thing. We need 40 people in here. Where's everybody at? Bro, your form? Huh? Are you asking where I'm from? I'm thinking about moving my executions to NinjaTrader. I was using it in the past. TradingView just feels a little like slow. It's more convenient, but it just feels more slow. I'm from the East Coast of the United States also. I'm from Connecticut. But I'm planning on moving. I've been here like my whole life. I don't want to stay here. What's up, Mosin? How you doing, man? I'm doing good. Trying to stay locked in, executing. Just gotta adapt to the markets. I didn't think last week was that clean, but we still ended up green, so that's good. Just have to stay detached and execute and just adapt to whatever conditions are presented. I've been taking more like scalpy liquidity type reaction trades because these markets are less trendy. So just have to be able to adapt. I think that's really important for people to understand. There really isn't just like a one size fits all approach, at least in my opinion. I think edge like fades in and out and the market conditions change and things work better in certain markets and they work a lot worse in other markets. So you have to just adapt. I don't want to go on a rant, but for example, let me just give you an example. Trump markets. Everybody was playing breakouts because everything was going up. We're in a trend market. Everything's, seeing continuation. Markets are at all-time highs. And, those Trump markets in his first term were ridiculous. And breakouts just played. That had edge at the time. That edge was in play. But as we, shifted market conditions and we moved away from the Trump style markets, breakouts did not work. Zero edge. And so I think edge fades in and out. And it's our job to just capture what's in play. So you have to be able to adjust and you have to have a toolkit to pull from. Yes, for real. Yes, sir. All right. We're going to get it going in a second. Yeah, I haven't put the thing on yet. Yeah, it took me a while to realize that as well. Honestly, I would say that wasn't something I really started to understand until 2.5, 3 years in. Like, it took a long time to understand that. Like, I started late 2019 around those Trump markets, a little before, and I had no idea why. Like, back then I was trying to trade supply and demand and breakouts from key levels, and once we shifted away from that market, I was just so confused. And that's why trading's so hard, because you'll feel like you have something and it's working, and then the market conditions change and you no longer have edge, or it's no longer working and you have no idea why. And so I think as a trader, like, real consistency in these markets is having a toolkit to pull from that, you're able to trade any condition that you're presented with. That's a gem right there, for real. That is a gem. When traders don't trade towards the end of the year and start again around February, why is this? I think a lot of them just, certain times of the year, they know that we have less clean price action. Summer PA generally tends to be more sloppy, which we've definitely seen. I still trade year round. I just adjust. But it can be whatever you want it to be. Some people swing and they take way less trades throughout the year and they take months off and they just chill and they have a ton of capital to back that. And others scalp every single day. It's figure out what fits your personality and then adjust to whatever market conditions you're in. Your job is to find the edge in whatever market condition you're in and execute on it. G, what's up, bro? You've arrived. Yes, sir. All right. So let's start talking about the economic calendar. Right off the bat, I can see we have a Monday with no news. Nothing. No USD. No Canadian dollar. No New Zealand dollar. Euro, pound. Zero red folder news on Monday. We always talk about this every single weekly forecast. When we have a Monday with no news, that's much more conducive to low probability, sloppy price action. Accumulation for the weekly profile. So on Mondays with no news, I'm more skeptical. I'm waiting. I'm allowing price to prove to me that it wants to move. And I'm perfectly content not trading on a Monday. And honestly, the majority of weeks lately, I'm either flat or I take like one trade and it's a BE and I just call it because the PA sucks. But the last 2 Mondays, I think I've been flat. And then we have a bunch of trades later in the week. So completely fine skipping Monday but I will of course show up and let price dictate whether I am flat or not. If we show up on Monday and we're actually expanding and it looks clear, and you know I'm ready to execute and it's telling me to execute, I'll execute. But go into Monday skeptical, allow price to show you that it wants to move, and if it doesn't, you know, I'm perfectly fine being flat on Monday. Tuesday we have Canadian dollar, New Zealand dollar red folder. We don't have USD red folder until the FOMC meeting minutes. Important thing to note, a lot of people think meeting minutes and rate statement are the same thing. They are not. So very important to understand. I personally treat them the same just because it's simple. Like I don't care. I treat them the same way, right? So whether it's meeting minutes or the rate statement, I just kind of expect price to wait up for it. But that being said, a lot of people think they're the same and they're not. You know, rate statement tends to be more volatile. But yeah, Wednesday there's pound and USD red folder. Pound, CPI, and then USD FOMC meeting minutes, like we just said. And then Thursday, Euro, Pound, and USD. Friday, USD as well. JPOW speaks. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday look like the days where we can see more volatility and price action. And I would expect Monday and Tuesday to be more lethargic. Obviously, these are just rules of thumbs. I'm just anticipating this based on, you know, a long sample size of data. More often than not, that's what tends to happen. I'm not guaranteeing that. And you know, Monday, Tuesday, I'm still going to be showing up to the charts and trying to figure out if price is looking good. If it is, I'll trade, right? So important to understand. I'm not just not trading Monday and Tuesday. I'm just anticipating lower probability PA. So yeah, Wednesday through Friday are more of the days of interest just based on the calendar. More expansion, more volatility most likely. So keep that in mind going into this week. Wednesday through Friday are more of the days of interest for me, but of course depends on the price action and what we do on Monday, Tuesday. That's the sauce, edge. Yeah, if you don't have edge, you're just not going to make money. Like simple as that. If you don't have positive EV, if you don't have a positive expectancy, like you're just not going to make money. It doesn't, it's literally just math. Like you will always lose in the aggregate. If you're doing something where you have negative edge, you're just, the more you do it, the more you're losing in the long run, essentially. You're working towards losing. Appreciate the info, Cam, huge fan from London. Oh, it's sick, you're from London. I heard London's really rainy. Always locked into the forecast. Let's go. Ahmad, what's up, brother? What pairs would you focus on? I'm not sure yet. I gotta check it out. I'm gonna start with bonds. We'll start on the monthly, work our way down. I went back to the OG candlestick colors. It just looks cleaner. Had to go back. So, looking at this monthly candle, this is our previous month high. We've traded into that previous month high already, and we're wicking and respecting it, right? Candlestick behavior is very important to understand. We're seeing a respect wick of that previous month high. So when we drop into the lower time frame, we're more, you know, likely to see fair value gaps and displacement and order flow flipping. So looking at the weekly on bonds, we have this weekly bullish gap. We are closing below the midpoint, like we're closing over it, but I need more out of price action to say, okay, we're targeting these lows. So I'd probably wait for more confirmation to say, yeah, we're reaching for the sell side, but it's not a great body close, right? We're not wicking and respecting that internal on the weekly on bonds. The daily's flipping, right? We're closing below this gap. And this leg right here is more so what I'd be focused on the 4 hour, right? This leg on the daily is the current leg on the 4 hour. We should see a gap within this leg, right? Boom, this is how I break it down. Fair value from the top down. Just take this body, if we're going to go lower towards those lows and we're going to see continuation to this sell side, then you'd want to see this 4-hour leg respect this level here and trade lower. If we disrespect that and flip higher, it's not a good sign for lower on bonds. So I'd be waiting for the 4-hour to confirm whether we're going lower for the sell side or respecting this gap, but not a great body close within it for longs. See if dollar is more clear. Dollar as well, sweeping previous month high. Crazy push lower. Looking at this sell side based on what dollar is doing here, kind of just consolidating right now. Also set previous week high. Daily and 4-hour should be flipping here. Yep. Now you have bearish order flow on the daily and 4-hour. Traded into, you know, premium. I don't use discount and premium. I just don't feel like I need it, but you can clearly see we trade into a premium in this range. We had already traded into that gap as well, so it's more of just a stop hunt into the premium. And the daily has just been choppy, right? Rangy candles, but it's been a slow chop, slow grind lower. I favor sells. I'm gonna, you know, put this on the short list. I favor lower going into this week, mainly based on the daily and 4-hour order flow flipping bearish, as well as this looks like the low-hanging fruit objective here for the monthly is this previous candle low based on that reaction, but pretty slow grind lower. But I favor shorts on dollar, lower dollar. Looking at this sell side. Traded into internal already, so that offered fair value. I'd actually want to just see lower here from here to these equal lows. So I'm personally bearish on dollar. Okay, indices traded into all-time highs. Now we're sweeping it and seeing a bit of a retracement. I'm gonna go ahead and remove all my drawings on indices. We have the monthly gap that we didn't even trade into. I was actually gonna look for that as a draw. When this candle was down there, I was gonna look for internal to get tagged. We didn't end up tagging it. We just traded higher, so we have to react to that. But we actually traded above all-time highs. Now we're kind of wicking it. Just gonna sit with my long bias until we get any, you know, daily order flow change. I'm gonna hold a long bias on from the macro perspective on indices. We're trading at all-time highs. Weekly, monthly, daily, all bullish order flow. There's no reason to fade this higher time frame order flow. I'm gonna hold my bullish bias until we see some form of, you know, flip on the daily. Like I said, we do have that monthly gap, but the daily order flow is still bullish. We have these lows. We've already traded into this daily gap. So potentially we could trade into the previous day lower, this sell side, and then print higher, but I'm going to hold the bullish bias until I see the daily flip. Not the clearest. Monthly gap as well. Again, all-time highs, bullish order flow from the top down, monthly, weekly, daily. I'm going to hold that bullish bias. There's no reason for me to be, you know, bearish from a macro perspective right now. Yes, we're getting a retracement, but the daily, the weekly, the monthly are all still bullish order flow. And daily's trading above this high. Trading below this gap. Ideally would have liked to see higher from here, so not the most favorable, but this could just get engineered and ran. We'll see. Maybe we sleep previous day low and work higher off that. I need to react. I would more so put indices on the wait list right now, because I don't think it's like clear as day what they want to do, but I'm holding that bullish bias based on order flow basically. The weekly candle isn't giving reversal vibes. It's definitely wicking and respecting this in the 4 hours flipping. I definitely see what you're saying here, but I'm not ready to call lower and a reversal until I see the daily in line. So if we get a large sell candle on the daily going into this week, then I'll begin looking for lower. It's just a bit premature for me, but 100% I can see that you know, getting some bearish vibes here. We do have the 4 hour flip, but we have these highs here being potentially engineered, so I'm not ready yet. In terms of the 4 hour, I would actually consider this 4 hour already flipped. Like, this is bearish 4 hour order flow for me in terms of how I view price. Once we got that bearish gap lower, we respected it. This is bearish 4 hour order flow, but for me, that's not enough to just start calling for lower when, you know, these indices are trading near all-time highs. Monthly, weekly, daily, also bullish order flow. So we'll see. I'll be watching previous day low going into this week, going into tomorrow, and trying to see how we react off that. If we get a nice bullish reaction off that, I'll try to trade along off previous day low, and if not, then we'll have to figure out where we're going lower for. But I'm gonna throw them on the wait list for now because I don't think it's clear. I could really see indices going either way, and so I'm just gonna have to react. But I'm gonna hold the long bias because the daily hasn't flipped yet, essentially. Dow trading off the monthly BISI. We also traded into the previous month high. We're wicking and respecting it. Do we have any weekly gaps? We do. I mean, Dow looks quite bullish. There's still buy side up there. Traded into the area of fair value. Yeah, YM looks more bullish than ESNQ. We're still getting that wick on the weekly in respect to these highs, but this looks quite bullish and kind of adds to how I feel about indices. I feel like we could still head higher from in here. I'm not ready to call a top right now. It's too soon, too premature for me. So if Dow is going to head higher here, we want to see it do so from this gap. I could see us, right, sweeping this external and then trading higher off that. But you guys need to understand how much of a cheat code external and internal is. I mean, these type of reactions, it's the foundation of everything I do. Right? It's order pairing. It's really, really key to understand. There we go. So the 4 hour should flip here, and I'd actually be short-term bearish. I want to see more of a retracement on Russell. So maybe ESNQ do go lower until we trade into this. I don't know. Gonna wait and see. Interesting stuff. Monthly as well. Trading higher. Weekly above these highs. Do we have a daily gap on? We do. We haven't really delivered off of it. Yeah, interesting stuff on indices. Quite a bearish reaction off the buy side, but just not ready to call a top right now. I can still absolutely see us heading higher from somewhere in here in this range. Euro pound, we are bearish on dollar. We're going to be bullish on euro and pound and AUD or AU and NU. Not very clean on the weekly. Consolidating. Pretty sloppy, to be honest. Don't love that. Yeah, this is not good. This is not good. I don't like this. Slow grind higher. Probably just stay hands off EUG right now. Just very ugly. I'm not a fan of this. Yeah, arguments for both sides, I agree. Pretty bearish reaction on indices, but I'm not ready to call that top yet. I need to see more. And that's part of trading, is waiting for more information. You know, you don't need to know every single day. You just need to be able to react. That's the key. It's not about knowing. It's not about committing to like one direction and saying, oh, I know it has to go higher. It's about reacting to whatever information you're provided with, especially throughout the week, every single day. Intraday, even more so. 15-minute, 1 hour, 5-minute order flow. You need to be able to flow with price action and just remain objective and react to the information you're provided with. So important. So, slow grind higher. I'd be more hands off on Euro USD. I don't like this really at all. We are still trading higher. I'm bearish on dollar, so I would favor longs to this buy side on EU and GU. But the way it's delivering is just yuck. I really don't like it, and I would prefer to be hands off here. But I'd be looking at these buy side objectives for sure. 4 hours should be bullish. And so if we're going to go higher, you want to see it do so from this leg. Either just run straight towards this buy side or retrace into the internal and head higher off that. I would actually, based on how we're delivering now, just favor a run towards this buy side. But bullish EU, but I'd be more hands off. It looks really sloppy the way it's delivering. GU, we didn't even trade into this internal. I don't know if the future did. I don't think the future did either. It did to the tick, didn't it? 1.3150. Oh, it did. Nice. That's pretty clean. Monthly internal on pound. The future did trade into it. I mean, that's a nice little boundary to operate within. Internal to external on the monthly. Definitely looks better than Euro in my opinion, the way it's delivering. Failing to move lower above these highs. This is failure to offer fair value. I want to see this buy side get reached for. I like pound a lot better than Euro if you're going to play one of these. Based on the way it's delivering, I really like pound a lot better. We have the daily internal. We traded above this buy side. We can see a bit of a retracement now. If we don't, you want to see fair value gaps through that high. But we could start to see a retracement here. So you want to be, gauging this 4 hour order flow. If we go and reach for these lows and this external here on the 4 hour, then you're looking for the daily internal down here. But we do have bearish dollar, like I said, so we might just reach higher. This is your, this leg is key. If we end up printing higher, you're just looking for buy side. More buy side up here. But I like pound better than Euro. Monthly range, weekly. Oh, this is disgusting. Please don't touch this. Yeah, I don't even like. If I wasn't on forecast, I wouldn't even be looking at this right now. This is gross. Don't touch AU and U. If you try to trade this, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. 4 hour looks cleaner, but the daily, the weekly, horrible PA. Potentially these lows, equal lows down here. Previous day low. 4 hours bearish order flow. I'd be looking for sell side, which really doesn't agree with my direction on dollar. So do not like that. Always want to be in alignment with what dollar's doing. Need Dixie on your side. Monthly internal. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Would not touch it. Notice how it just, yeah, you guys can see what I'm talking about. I don't need to lay it out for you. Really ugly stuff. I'm just gonna skip it. Okay. USD Canadian dollar. We do have the internal. We have these sell side lows. Still grinding higher right now. I don't like the way this isn't delivering lower either. Especially with the bearish bias on dollar. Don't love Forex pairs. I don't think Forex looks great right now. We have all these lows that I think are going to get ran later, but Right now, we're getting a pretty bullish close above that gap and above these highs. Maybe we run out this buy side highs, but doesn't agree with my direction on dollar either, so don't love it. Nice internal trade though. I retrace right into internal into this area for value right here. Really nice signature right there on the 4 hour. 4 hour looks nice right here. All right, for value, it's pretty clean. So I actually see more bullish arguments here in terms of the price action, which I don't love when I'm looking for lower on dollar. Monthly internal. See, now this, you see how this agrees more with our direction on dollar. If we're going to get lower dollar, you want to be trading something that agrees with that. Well, USD Swiss franc has a monthly internal to external playing out. I already like this more just based on the monthly. We are getting a pretty bullish close above, but we can still flip and see lower here. You ideally want to see the daily order flow flip. Yeah, not the cleanest daily order flow. I do still think that this can trade lower, but you want to see some displacement. You want to see it work out of this range if you're going to start shorting this. You can throw it on the wait list. Right now, I wouldn't be open to trying to swing or get involved in this range. Like in terms of a macro perspective, you really want to see a push out of that consolidation. But I like how the monthly internal is setting up there. I want to see if the future well, it's going to be inverse. Weekly consolidating. I don't love Forex, guys. Doesn't look that good to me. Pretty range. Do not like Forex. I don't even know why I chart the crosses. I just do this because somebody asked me to. I would not trade the crosses either. I'm going to take the crosses off, honestly. There's no point in looking at them. I'm never going to trade them. They're just good for relative strength and weakness when you're trading Forex. Crude oil trading into the monthly internal. You want to see the daily order flow flip if we're going to head higher here. So I wouldn't be ready to see higher on crude oil until we get some form of displacement to the upside. You really want to see this order flow change and show some intent. You want to see a large expansion candle to the upside. So I'd be waiting on that for longs. You need to see intention on the daily. Nice displacement higher. Gold traded towards all-time highs. We got that beautiful push, and then now we've just been consolidating at all-time highs. So quite bearish looking at these lows. Daily order flow is bearish as well. Yeah, I'd favor a look at sell side here. I want to see the 4 hour just continue this lower. You want to see some expansion here. You'd like to see this just put in new expansion to the downside here. Bearish gold. That's a bit clearer to me. Silver's holding up a little bit better, but still bearish metals. We're failing to deliver higher really off this. Gold looks way cleaner though. Bitcoin, previous month high sweep. We have the internal down here. Yeah, we're just again ranging after sweeping all-time high. That was all-time high, right? I think Bitcoin did hit it. Yeah, Bitcoin, I'm not gonna lie, I said this months ago. Bitcoin really looks like it's kind of trades the same way as indices now, which is interesting. Like when indices are printing, Bitcoin is printing as well. Large retracement after sweeping that external. Just kind of consolidating in here. Ethereum. Trading around all-time highs. We're going to create this new weekly gap that we can potentially deliver higher off of. Our area for value. If we're going to head higher, you want to see it do so from there. So if the 4-hour and daily flip, like if we failed to deliver higher off this daily internal, you'd be looking for a retracement down here. It'll be interesting to see. If we do just print higher off this daily internal, look for this buy side high. So that'll be interesting to note. Read the 1-hour order flow. If we expand higher with bullish order flow, look for the buy side. If we fail this gap, you're looking for a retracement into this weekly that we're creating in 6 hours. It definitely looks that way, Kit. Bitcoin is definitely here to stay. 4-hour. So yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna look at indices again. This is how I personally like to look at them, side by side like this. You can see clear SMTs. It's nice to see them print side by side like this and then have it in sync, because you can kind of see what's leading, you know, what has better relative strength and weakness, and you can just mark out SMTs easier. So I really like looking at it this way. So we trade above all-time highs. Again, we talked about it. Sweeping this high here. Pretty bearish reaction lower. But I do think we can just find support in here and potentially head higher. I'm not ready to just begin calling for sell side down here. Too premature. In terms of the 4-hour though, like I would really like to see us either wick this low, respect and flip higher, or trade down here and flip higher for a long idea. Going into this week, that could be nice. Like a weekly candle. Maybe we consolidate Monday, wick lower, then trade higher. Could definitely see that being the case. And if not, if we just get straight sells and we start trading lower, we'll look to target lows. You know, if the daily just flips and we begin reaching lower, we'll target these lows down here. So fluid, open to both sides, not marrying any idea. But I do think we can just find support down here and trade higher. But I see arguments for both sides like we talked about. I'm building on a sick indicator, guys. With my buddy. Here, let me show you. So basically it marks out major session liquidity, Asia, London, previous day highs and lows, and it sends alerts to my phone when we hit these areas. And then it also does like SMTs, inversions, normal for value gaps and order flow flips. It'd be fire. I gotta change the settings, but ST on the daily highs and lows. There's SMT on both sides. I saw the bearish SMT the other day for sure. Right when we swept these highs. For sure. That was a really good bearish signature for lower. Now we have SMT at the lows, yeah, but we haven't seen the 1-hour flip. But like I said, I could very well see us wick these lows and then flip higher, but we'll have to see. I'm just reacting to price. Oh yeah, I see that SMT. This sell side sweep and then that, you know, higher low, I wouldn't validate as a bullish SMT until we get a flip of order flow to the upside. So right now I just see that bearish SMT for how I view price. Just this sweeping that high. So we shall see. We shall see. I'm gonna get rid of this, and then I already have that marked out in the lower time frame. Middle auto mark out these previous day lows later. I'm gonna turn off the SMT for now. Still working on it, but it's gonna be sick. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Really just been focused on scalping indices. So we'll see. Honestly, the macro perspective doesn't even, like, it's useful. But the way I've been trading lately with the lower time frame scalps, all I really care about is the lower time frames and just having a feel for where it's strong to. And then playing the major liquidity areas. The macro perspective is more just for long term. Swinging, you 100% want to be focusing on MWD. And I still look at, you know, everything and factor it all in, but leaning way more on the lower time frames. So we'll see. This will update. And yeah, we'll go into tomorrow and see if we get anything on Monday. If not, I'll just remain flat and we'll see if we can get a nice move throughout the week. But will be interesting to see if we kind of wick these lows and trade higher, or if we get a nice deep retracement here. Definitely see arguments for both sides. So but yeah, make sure you guys are in the Discord, discord.gg/trading patiently. Send it right here. And if you want to check out the academy, there's a free trial. Go to tradingpatiently.com. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I hope you enjoyed the forecast. So I'll see you guys in the Discord.